You is smart.
Lovely Jamie back.
Hey. And so we want everybody who's watching currently, if you're watching Facebook, you're watching YouTube, drop the clapping hands. Let's go ahead and clap it up for Jamie. If you're catching this on the replay, let us know that you're watching on the replay. Type replay in the comments. Hey, Jamie, got some people on. Awesome. So let's not hold it up anymore. Jamie, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. You guys are hilarious. I was in the backstage cracking up.
You are just such a blessing. And I thank you. I know one of my very first times really being like cataloged was by you. You did an article on me a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And so you have just been amazing. You've been a great sister. You've been a great support. Tell us what you have, a little more about what you have going on right now.
So right now, like actually, it's so interesting that I'm even here tonight talking to you ladies because our 5th issue will be out next week. So I'm excited about that. And one of the main things with mental health, I just feel like there's not a lot of information out there all on one platform. So, that's kind of why I created, the magazine. But so we have that. We have our digital content will be coming out next week, and then our pre-orders will start, and then our physical copies will be mailed out to people who order it. So that's what's happening right now. Also, we're actually, I was going to say we're collecting content for our following issue, but that submission is closed because we've gotten so much, so many people, signed up and, just kind of want to talk about mental health. So we're actually working on our getting content for the following issue, which will be out later this year. But I'm so excited. I really am. This year, I decided to have the magazine come out quarterly. So this is kind of a new thing for me, but I love that it's well received. I feel like when I first started the magazine, I only came out with 2 issues. So I just kind of wanted to see, the audience and just kind of the feedback. And it was just like, no, you gotta do this more. We need more of this. So I'm really excited. I'm learning new things, with each issue and just the content. Like I saw the outline of it and just the content. I'm just like grinning from ear to ear because it's just from the very first issue to now. It's just like it's amazing. So.
That's awesome. We're just so proud of you. I think that what I hear specifically is not only consistency. You've been so consistent in the vision that you have, the vision that God gave you, but you're also willing to take some risk, right? And say, instead of just doing 2 a year, I'm going to do 4 a year. Let me see how this goes. That is extremely scary at times. How have you been able to kind of work through or balance even those feelings?
It was a challenge. It was a challenge. But one of the things I realized is I'm pretty organized. I'm a pretty organized person. So I just kind of like set my goal. And, I told myself in the beginning, I want to do, I want to come out and produce more magazines. So I gave myself like the 2 year, and so it's like, all right, Jamie, this is what you did for the first magazine. This is what you did for the second one, and so forth. And it's just like, all right, let's just prioritize. And so I use my Google Calendar religiously. So I just set my dates, and I also make sure that like my support, system knows. So then that way, when I have something going on, it's like, all right, we got to set this time for this and things like that. So I just being organized, and I think what helped me a lot was just the previous magazines and just kind of seeing how it all works out. And so I just figure I just take that leap of faith.
Awesome. That's what it takes. Leap of faith. Kind of looking at Crystal commented about risk. So, with anything that you do, you're going to take different risks. And so I'm sure your community, your, genre mental health field, are happy that, now they have this platform, that you have provided that they can use and giving people, an outlet, because especially during a time, like timing is everything. right? So this was very timely in doing it now, when in the middle of a pandemic. And so a lot of people have shifted, and we're glad to see, that that's something that you saw a need for and provided it really at a most opportune time that people, definitely need it right now. For everybody who feel like they really don't need that therapist, they can secretly get the magazine. They can go online and read it, and, you can share it. And so at least that's a resource for them, but as one of our other sisters in the mental health field posted today, and I had to share as a great post, go to therapy, period.
Yeah, I shared that too.
Get therapy, brother. Get the therapy, sis. Let's encourage our friends to, to get it and take the stigma out of it. And so the more that you have platforms like yours, Helpful Living Magazine, and to name it something like that, so it's helpful living, right? So people don't feel like, oh, I need this. It's helpful living, right? Because your mental health is important to have a balanced and balanced life. So that's great.
Yeah, and I'm even glad, honestly, that because I started it 2 years ago, and I'm glad that I listened. I'm glad that I really listened to what God was telling me, because He's just like started, and it's like, I'm glad I did, because look where we are now, and look where I'm at now, with producing it, multiple times throughout the year. So I'm glad I listened. He makes no mistakes, so it was, I'm just glad that I was obedient to that.
Oh, us too. And what we don't realize oftentimes is it's greater than us. And so it's not about even your obedience. That's great. God honors, obedience over sacrifice, but it's also about now the legacy that you're leaving in the earth. I know many people. I had a young lady call me today, and I'm in the midst of my own stuff, and she's asking me for advice. And I had to check my stuff. My gift isn't about me. My gift is about being in a position to bless her, right? She wants to be a life coach. Go ahead and do it. She said, you're the first person to say, go ahead and do it, because many people feel that the market is saturated. No, and no one would tell you not to open a burger joint. So why would they tell you not to pursue this thing that God is calling you to do? And so, Jamie, when was it that you knew, like, I have to do this? Like that burning in your spirit and your bones that you knew, like, I got to do this?
I would say I've seen the need. I've seen the need, and I used to work at a psychiatric facility. So I used to work there, and I would have conversations. I was a discharge coordinator. So my job was to find resources in the community. So anyone that, came on our unit, they had to meet with me, to be, once discharge came about. And so I realized with conversating with a lot of people, just the need, because when they came into the hospital, it might have been their very first time. They never even heard about mental illness or even gave that a thought. They're like, I came to the hospital because I had a stomach ache, I had a migraine. Now I'm in this facility, So it's just, and when you go into, a setting like that, not knowing, you have like this guard, you're kind of like, this is bull, I don't, want to do this, or, you guys are lying, and, you hear all the things. And so I realized, and I was like, there's just a lack of education, and in a way to where I wanted to provide something to where people didn't feel like they were being sold. It's just kind of like when I was giving out brochures to, different places, it's like they had to make that decision right then and there. But there was also some clients or patients that would come in, and they had a little bit of education, whether they've been through it before or their family member. And I just noticed how open they were, how, even more with participating in groups and things like that. And I realized then, like, something needed to be done. I wasn't really sure about the magazine, but it wasn't until after, after I had my son. And I was blogging for a while. I just kind of felt like there's just something more tangible. And then it just kind of came together. It was just like, I think I seen a magazine and something was like, well, create one. And I was just like, okay, like it just, all right, I guess I'll do it. So then I did research and things like that. But I just kind of seen the need more, like, I just kind of seen it, and I see the benefits mental health, of therapy and things like that. And when you know something can be good for somebody and you want them to do it, it's just like, but this is really good. It's like they have to be educated and they have to be ready. So I wanted to provide those resources for them.
That's good. That's good.
That is. Because I balance life, and I think sometimes people may not realize, and, we'll delve into what that looks like for some people. And we want the audience also to participate and tell us some of the things that, that helps them. But your mental health is directly related to a lot of times how you're living, your life. And so, sometimes shifts and changes in your life, whether expected or unexpectedly, as much as you think like, I know this is going to happen and you have control. A lot of people, kind of, whether it be an anxiety attack or whatever may happen to you when you feel like you've lost that, control. And so, we wanted to talk about balance, one, because I can't live without balance, right? So I'm a Libra, I'm a scale. Like my life requires balance, like literally. And, my friends or people around me can tell when my, like, oh, your scale is tipped, right? Your balance is off because, there's certain things. And so how important that balance is to your actual mental health and living, like it's a connection, right, to how you live your life, what you eat, how you do, if you exercise or don't exercise. All of those things are important. And so, that's why we're doing this tonight. We're happy to have you here, somebody who has experience in the field and somebody that's helping other people to figure that part out for themselves.
And can I just say, somebody that's a young Black woman, can I just say that? Making all our grandmamas proud, because we specifically as women, as moms, as Black women, are not supposed to have these open discussions. Even in 2021, we are not supposed to need to consistently, have coping mechanisms and coping skills and need someone's, ear to listen to. Nor do we find the time or the grace. We often don't give one another grace. So Jamie, when you're dealing with, especially women that look like you, how do you help them first realize that maybe they're not completely balanced, as Kiana said, or they're not living as whole or as healthy as they could potentially be?
Pretty much I listen to them at first. I think that's one of the things I really try to do is listen and then just kind of hear them out and, just give some advice or, seeing what they're doing daily, what that would look like, making sure they're having time for themselves. Cause I think that's one thing we don't do, as women, we are like the last to take care of ourselves. So even asking those questions, like, what did you do today? Or what are your goals? What do you want out of life? And so I think having people answer those questions, it allows them to kind of think like, oh, okay, and their mood, especially like their mood. And like, I know for me, if my mood is off or if I'm upset or if I'm easily irritated or frustrated, it's like something's not right. Something's off, So just kind of really sitting back and figuring out, all right, who was I talking to? Who was I dealing with? What's going on that I'm feeling this way? And acknowledge that and then try to, work it out or work through it. And I'm always promoting therapy, if it's something more, than just one conversation or something, that needs to be a little bit more, that's more intense, then I always, say therapy, talk to someone and help someone. Cause I feel like with therapy, it allows you or, you work on yourself. That's kind of the main thing. So.
And don't be afraid to fire your therapist. I recently fired a therapist. She's an amazing person. She is not aggressive enough. I'm an A-type personality, born and raised in West Baltimore, and will let you all the way have it, right? And so, and I'm also someone who is trained and certified in life coaching and counselings and different things on my own. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect, because no child. It means that I needed someone at a greater level, right? Almost like a master level therapist, because I would go in the sessions and she said, well, what do you think about it? Oh, I think I need to spend some time journaling. I need to make some time for myself. And I would say all the right things. And then I would disconnect and I've checked the box, but I haven't done the things, right? So for anyone who's listening who feels like, hey, I'm paying this copay or I'm meeting this person virtually, and I just don't feel, I've been doing this for 6 months, not one session, because I think that's a stigma too. But I've been doing this for 6 months, and I don't feel that this person is confident even in checking me about me, because that's important too. And so I found this other young lady. I hope she takes me on. She's from Louisiana. She real tough. And I'm hoping that she's, willing to take me on, or has the space to take me on as a client. Do you have any other recommendations for someone who is getting therapy but feeling like it's just not working?
Yeah. Actually, one of the things I think that's really important when you meet with your therapist is have that conversation, of what you want, and be honest about it, like accountability. I need you to be tough with me. I need, and just have that open dialogue of what you want out of it, or what, and then ask the therapist, because I feel like it's important we ask therapists questions too, even if it's, obviously the average age of notes.
I mean, you don't understand the week I've had. Okay, what's the average age of what?
On the average age that they, clients that they see, how long have they been doing therapy, their feedback, just, I think reviews are important, even though everyone has their own, but, it's just asking those questions and then really just being really, really intentional, and they have to be able to kind of pick up, some cues too, sometimes like body language and things like that. So just kind of, it's like an interview, ask them, because it's like, I'm paying you to help me. So, I really need to know. I know in one of our articles we have, or one of our issues we have, questions to ask the therapist. And I think sometimes when we see therapists or any profession, we kind of put them on this pedestal, which, is fine, but it's just kind of like, this is a relationship. Like, I need to know what I'm gonna get, and, you need to know about me. So I think it's really important of asking those questions and being honest, and I think sometimes it's hard to have those tough conversations because we don't know how, but it's needed because it's only going to better us. So
ask your therapist who helping them, who's their therapist.
Because they should be, everyone.
Because they probably will need to be in therapy too, especially after seeing you. No, not you as in Tori per se, but in general. After seeing their clients.
Old South Beach.
So after seeing their clients, they may need help as well. But one of the things that both of you guys touched on, and another question you can ask your therapist is, how do you know when you're out of balance? So you're out of balance when? So I want both of you ladies, it's the key questions, 2 minutes. I want you to think about, and we'll start. Who wants to start? You want to draw straws? Tori, Jamie, we'll start with our guest. And so we're going to say you are out of balance when, or you're out of balance when.
I can start. Oh, I know I'm out of balance when I'm forgetful, when I'm, just kind of feeling tired all the time, when I don't feel like doing anything. I mean, you have your lazy days. We have those days, but when it's continuous, like I keep putting something off, or, something that I like to do, I don't do, whether it's watching a show or going for a walk, because I'm very big on walking and going outside and getting fresh air. But if I don't do those things, something's not right. Or I have a lot of like negative thinking. Very down on myself, and not taking the time to acknowledge my accomplishments, like I'm really intentional now about doing that, and affirmations and things like that. But I notice, like, if I step back, if I'm angry all the time, or just upset, it's like something's not right. And then even if I'm just kind of like pigging out, not eating the right things and just not really caring, even about like how I may look, just like, oh, well, whatever, having that kind of energy or that attitude, and complaining a lot, that's when I really know that I'm out of balance, because it's just kind of seems like really dark. Just kind of really seems dark. And I felt like I experienced a lot of that in the summer, just because of COVID and just because of day and not getting out as much, because of being in the house all the time. So then I kind of turned it and been intentional about going outside, getting fresh air, and just doing those little things to kind of help me feel a little bit better.
That's good. Some of our audience members obviously are similar with you. We've heard fatigue, agitated, frustrated, those type of things. So that's really good, guys. Can't focus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are definitely things. So Tori, you're not out. Well, you're out of balance when?
I still got time.
No,
you did really good. That's her.
That was just my own timer. I'm out of balance when I can't sleep. So I will suffer from insomnia. I've also been extremely honest. I have ADHD. And I got it as an adult, right? So I can't focus. I think that was Robin that said can't focus. So I can't focus like right now. Which way?
The other way.
There we go. Trying to, I'm confusing my right from my left. I lose my appetite. And then I also realize I'm out of balance when I overcompensate. And so what happens is it's like, hey, this is messed up. I'm starting a business, like that type of thing. And so now I'm overcompensating because all of the pain and the pressure and the frustration that I'm feeling from whatever, anything, I'm now ignoring it. And I'm putting all of this great effort into something else. And so when I look back over my life, some of the most pivotal points, I've done some of the best work out of balance because I've learned how to just put my head down and get it done and pretend this other stuff isn't happening. I'm also out of balance when I'm second guessing everything I do, right? And so if you know me, like I'm the person that I beat to my own drum. I'm a fun person. I like to dance. I like to make up little songs. If I'm operating like this, like like I'm stepping on eggshells all the time, I'm out of balance. I'm second guessing myself. I'm second guessing my discernment. And when I do that, my prayer life also suffers. So now I'm out of balance because I'm not praying because I don't even know who I am in this moment. So those are mine. How about you?
That's really good. I'm gonna take some of your time. And so for me, definitely I'm out of balance when I am not following my calendar. So when I really just like don't care about timelines, when I'm not really meeting my deadlines, because I'm, really kind of good with like being organized. If things like start piling up or getting junky. So like, my family know if you come to my house and, it's dishes in the sink or things are out of place, or it's like, what's wrong with you? That is a clear tell sign that, I'm out of balance. If, I start to get a little messy or things are out of order for me. And then the fatigue and forgetfulness. Sometimes it's like I get up and be like, what did I get up for? And so, some of that comes with like being overwhelmed, having too many things to do. And so, yeah, when I can't like meet my deadlines or really like get through a day and not be productive, then I know for sure like I am completely out of balance. And I probably get a little snippety too, I'm sure.
What was the word?
I get a little snippety. A little snippety.
I've been your cousin forever and your business partner for years. Y'all can't see these wounds, but no, I can't. But it is important. I'm joking with Kiana, but it is extremely important to thine own self be true and to know, like, hey, I'm having a bad day. You might want to, give me some social distancing, right? You might not want to lean in as much. Jamie, do you have any advice for people who are in a position today where they recognize they are out of balance?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we can do, or, now that we're talking about it and people are listening, is just to kind of recognize it first. That's the thing, is recognizing it. And then just really thinking about what's going on, like what's making what's making me feel this way? We all have the right to feel, but, am I speaking to a certain person? Am I around, am I watching something? Like, what's causing this, to happen? Or what am I not doing? Am I putting myself last all the time? And then it's just, not that it's easy, because nothing, it's easier said than done, but just kind of working on a few things. So if you feel like you're putting yourself last, a moment, put yourself first, like, take a longer shower or cut out the TV time and, go work out or do something, even, if it's putting the kids to bed a little early so you can read, or, something like that. But if something has to change, clearly. So it's just recognizing what's making, a person feel that way. And then the small things or even journaling, writing it down, getting it out. I think I'm very big on journaling and getting it out because that energy is in there and it has to come. That's why we have, we're irritated, we're lashing out, because it's like, it's not coming out. So
I'll tell you something that I did this morning. I was dealing with something and I had all intentions of unloading what I'm dealing with on the person that I felt caused it, right? But instead of doing that, because that's the old me, the new me is trying to just, always be a better person. So I went to my phone. I have an iPhone. I went to my phone and there is a voice record option. And I said everything that I wanted to say to that person into my voice record. But wait, there's more. You can share it and send it to them from voice record. I did not do that. Instead, I put the phone down. I was able to get some work done. And then I came back and I listened to it about like 2 hours later. And child, it was ugly. It was ugly. And I deleted it. Because the important part for me was that I got it out. It had nothing to do with getting it to that person. I don't want to further traumatize anyone else. I don't want to be a hurt person who hurts people. And even if this person may or may not have been the source of why I felt that way, it is my responsibility to deal with my stuff, right? And so do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that that's something that maybe people can incorporate, like instead of journaling, for those who say, I don't have time to write or whatever, voice record it and then play it back to yourself. And your grandmama might be disappointed in having.
I might have to do that. I like that.
I think that's a good idea. That's really good. I actually like that. I think that's good because, sometimes it is about like just getting it out and, we want to say release, right? And so I think some of what you're saying is about having that big picture view of like who you are. And so if you have a big picture of like your life and where you want it to go and what you're doing, you have to have that in the forefront so that you know how to respond to these things because life is going to happen, right? So they say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And so things are going to change, right? Things are going to happen. Unforeseen circumstances befall us all. And so if you don't have a big picture of your life and have some type of balance, you're bound to pop off and just, have everything that happens to you react to it. And that's no way to, to go through life. My children as kids, the exercise that I would have for them to do, like if they were feeling frustrated or, they didn't like me or, in that case, not necessarily they didn't have phones, but to write a letter. And I gave them liberty and freedom, to write as free as they could without being completely disrespectful. But I really wanted to hear from them. And so it was better like them writing it because, you won't want to say and get, popped in the mouth for being rude and disrespectful. And so, how about you write it down? So write it out, write a letter, write how you're feeling about that person, whether, was their non-custodial parent or whatever, write it out. If it was somebody in school, a teacher, whatever it was, or if it was me, like owning my stuff. I'm not perfect. Maybe I did something that make you upset. Maybe you don't like something I did. You can't really do anything about it per se, right? So not taking that role, but then expressing and allowing them to write out their feelings. Because they know they're not giving me therapy bills at 30. Like, my children probably heard that word since they started. I will not be getting your therapy bills at 30. You will not be blaming me because you were in therapy at 30. Like, constantly hearing that and saying that. And so, now they're all young adults. I still was like, you okay? You sure? You need to talk to somebody? Like, we're not going to make that taboo because it is really, really important, for life. So.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie, you have little people, right? You have one son. Is there any other children that I may have missed?
She said,
you try to peep into people's worlds on social media, but I know we're all busy. So how do you balance being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, being a woman, being human? How do you balance just the mom piece for all of the moms and dads who may be watching?
It's a challenge. However, I try to be present for the most part, and it's complicated. I feel like there's no formula. One of the things that I do like with working, we're all, virtually, working. And so you see people get on, the computer. There might be their dogs, maybe their child. They might, have to put themselves on mute. So it's nice. That part is nice because it's like sometimes that's me. I might have to get off camera for a second. But I do know I try to be present. I try to teach my son patience, although he's 2. That can be a challenge. But I try to keep him engaged. If I'm working on something where I kind of can't, I need to focus on, I try to keep him engaged, whether it's a show that he likes to watch or something that he's really into. Tablets has blessed my life, like apps on the tablet that he really likes. And that'll take some time up. So that helps too. One of the things we did today was go for a walk, because sometimes if he's like running around, it's like, you gotta get that energy out. And you know what? It's nice out. Let's put our coat and hats on and just, take a walk. And I've noticed when I do that, he got the air that he needed. He's calm, he even nap after. So I'll be doing that again tomorrow. But I noticed that, with him, he wants to be seen. He wants, to have my attention. So even if it's an hour or whatever, in between work and, my breaks, I just go ahead and make that a priority, make that our thing to do. And it's helped. It's helped.
We talked about that today, didn't we, Kiana? Mm-hmm. And I think that even in, again, not to make everything Black and brown, but it's Black History Month. So, but, the way we govern ourselves in this virtual environment, even at times it's in fear, like, oh, shh, shh, shh. You're telling your family members don't breathe in the background. Whereas you see a lot of times our counterparts are not living and walking in the same fear, especially in this virtual environment that we've been in now for a year. And so I have a 9-month-old niece. She'll be 10 months on Tuesday. And I'm at a point now where I'm like, come on, give me the baby. Because listen, this is what home looks like. You can't expect, especially as we teach our young people, our young children, when I'm home, you have access to mom, you have access to TT, you have access to Aunt Kiki. They don't understand that you're home and working, because the cue has been, when you leave out, I leave out with you. I go to daycare, wherever I go, whatever that separation time looks like. But when we're home, I have access to you. So for any parent who may be feeling guilt with the balance of work and little people in the house or big people, your husband just can never find his socks while you're on the phone, or on the Zoom. It's okay. I mean, it really is okay. And people will give you space for grace when you first give yourself space for grace. My niece literally was on my shoulder one day, threw up on me in the middle of a Zoom. I continued to present, wiped it up. When I was done talking, I put the camera on, turned the camera off, went, changed my shirt, came back with a pajama shirt on and no baby. And guess what? I didn't lose my job. And so I think that there's this fear there where I can't do this. I got to be perfect. And our counterparts are just not approaching it that way. What you think, Jamie?
I agree. I agree. And I feel like just what you just said, like how you had to change your shirt and stuff like that. I'm sure other people were just like, oh, that I know what she's going through, And so, sometimes it's even important. I know some meetings that I'm in, they'll say, we understand life is happening, you might have to get up, you might have to, so it's like when they set that tone, it kind of, it does help, but I think now with us being, virtually for, like you said, almost a year, people are starting to kind of realize like, yeah, we might be like this for a while. So, if he's going to cry, he's going to cry. Or if I got to, do this or, but it's like you said, giving yourself permission and, giving yourself grace. I think that's really important and key, very key.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Or your dog's barking, which has happened on my last meeting of today. The CEO, her dogs just would not stop. The puppy apparently was messing with the big dog, and it just continued, and she muted and like literally fussing at them like they were kids. But like you said, I think work-life balance looks a lot different now. And so before, where it wasn't something that, honestly, probably most employers cared about, right? I mean, it was something that was said because it sounded good, and, it might have been in some training and it was nice for, to be said by a supervisor, but really, what did they really care about your work-life balance? I know in some of my, previous spaces, no, they didn't. And so, but now it has really changed that dynamic when you're talking about, working from home and those type of things. And so, not leaving out that work-life balance as a part of balance. So I have another question.
Before you do your question, hey guys, if you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, let us know how you're watching. If you're catching this on the replay, please put replay in the comments. We want to hear from you. All right, Key. What's the question?
Yes. Hey, and you can still answer the question. So if you're watching on the replay, type your answers down, okay? So we want to hear from you too. And so the next question is exactly about that. What are the four? So we're talking about 4 corners of balanced living. So what are the 4 areas of your life that help you maintain a balanced life? So what are the 4 areas of your life? I'm from Baltimore. Let me say that again. 4 areas. Yes, your hosts are from Baltimore. So I'm going to repeat it for those who are not from here and may not understand the accent. The 4 areas of your life that help you maintain a balanced life. And Jamie, we'll start with you.
So my first is spiritual. Just, I have to have that as my center focus, praying, reading my word. I really noticed if I don't, even if it's a chapter or, open up my app and I don't do that, things get a little shifted. So spiritual is key for me. I have to have that. Relationships, and not even just with my husband, but just my friends, my family, having that good support. It really helps me. Like my support system grounds me. I appreciate my support system. There's people I can call and vent to. People will put me in my place, and I really, really, really appreciate them. And even I'm able to be candid. I'm able to be, honest and just say, look, I just need you to listen. I'm so glad that the people in my corner, my support system, they do, like, they listen and not just try to give me advice. They just kind of let me vent, like, I can use your ear for a second. So that has helped me a long way. Health, wellness, mentally and physically, because to me that's hand in hand. So, making sure I continue to see my therapist. I see her monthly because it keeps me balanced. It makes me hold myself accountable. And going to, I was going to say go to the gym, but I don't really go there too much anymore. I'm at YouTube University now, so I'm on YouTube and watching, videos and doing videos on YouTube, going out for walks, getting fresh air. So, and One of the other things that I do is I have like a gratitude app. So I write down, 3 positive things about myself, and then each day, and then at the end of the week, I'll write 3 positive things that happened to me throughout that week. So that has helped me. And career focus. So just being intentional about the magazine, just focusing on how I can get better, and just listening to what's out there, what people are, saying, and just trying to meet the needs. So spiritual relationships, health, and career focus.
I love it. I love it. Am I next?
Yeah, sure. You can go next.
I want to read what at first we didn't say hi to Juan. Juan, if you're still with us, hey Juan.
Yes, hi Juan.
And I want to read the comment from Dr. Eric Holmes. He said, prayer, organization, time management, and focus. Those are really good. Guys, if you're watching, let us know what are the 4 areas that help you stay balanced, right? And so I think all of us are going to probably start with the same first one, which is the spirituality and prayer. I meditate. And I have been meditating now consistently for about a year and a half, right? To the point where the house could be burning down around me and I don't hear it. I always wanted to get to that place where I could silence everything around me. It might not be too safe. I hope somebody would touch me, knock me over, get me out. But prayer and meditation. So that's the spirituality. The second is my mental health. And because again, being diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, then being diagnosed with affective mood disorder and depression and anxiety, it's like those things have to be the foundation for me. Mm-hmm. So if I wake up, I'm in a mood, or if I didn't sleep all night, or whatever is going on, it's like my spirituality, my prayer, meditation, and my mental health are in alignment. And then my financial health. And so my financial health is extremely important to me. Doesn't mean I always have all of the money that I want. Doesn't mean that all the bills are paid. It means that I have a plan, I have a system, and I have a healthier relationship with money. That's the third one. And then the fourth one, I might even add a fifth, but fourth is...
It is 4 corners.
I know. The 4 corners must be in the middle. I was going to be a rule breaker. But the fourth one is relationships. And I'm going to share that anybody who knows that God has given them a book idea or a business where people is the product, like you have to deal with people, you're going to have relationship issues. You are. The enemy is going to come up against your ability to communicate, come up against your ability to hear from people and how people receive you. And you're going to have people talking about, she thinks she all that, or she ain't enough, or whatever those relationship, interpersonal skill things are. And so I'm always focusing on, am I being better today than I was yesterday? Am I presenting myself as a good person? And am I leading in light and love? And you guys will hear me say that all the time, light and love. The fifth one, why I say that's important, is because if that fifth one is junk, it kind of messes everything else up, which is my diet. So I'm going to throw that in there. If I'm putting junk in, it's going to be real junky. And so just being more mindful of that little extra fifth one. Kiana, how about you?
So for me, definitely, so prayer and meditation is how, I start my day. And, for those people who do that, I, listen to, and that could include just kind of like listening to positive things in that. And for those who kind of get stuck with that, like, it doesn't mean you got to just like kneel down and, call up to the gods type of thing, but really just starting your day with having that conversation, with God. And so I do that throughout my morning while I'm getting dressed, taking that time. And so love and culture. So I have to have I love love. I love like beautiful things. And so having like aesthetics for me, like my surroundings, and so having like culture and art and music and those things. I work throughout the day listening to music. So that is an important part of my balance. Family and friends ground me. So, when I'm grinding so hard, I get to the point like, what is wrong? And sometimes it's just like, I just need to be around my family, around my friends, like those people who know and love me and, can go, shut up. Don't nobody care how many degrees you got, whatever. Like I need, I need that surrounding, right? We need that little family toughness. And then business and finances. And so like a lot of people for me, like, people say professional, but my professional life includes a 9-to-5, my business. And, the podcast, like that is a balance in my life. Like that's a huge part of doing this because it gives the audience stuff, but it's like a release. Like it's great for me. So I don't teach anymore. And so this gives me, I'll say teach formally in a classroom. I've gone back to other type of work, consulting work, but this gives me that same type of, joy and satisfaction that teaching did because we're still kind of teaching, we're providing news and we're sharing, our expertise and, the things that we know on this platform. So those things all together make me, balanced.
Awesome. And I want to shout out Remarkable Teron.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, she said prayer, time management, focus, and solitude. And I used to work with Teron, and I really miss you. I miss your hugs, and I miss your spirit. But I get to be your friend on Facebook, and you be on it, honey. Ooh, yeah. I love your posts. They're so real. Sometimes people even think, like, I'll repost something that you posted, and I'll get, like, somebody talking about, ooh, ouch. Like, I wasn't talking about you. Teron posted that, and I reposted it, But I love those 4: prayer, time management, focus, and solitude. Take the time to be alone. People think I'm an extrovert. I am not. I'm an ambivert. And Kiana has had the pleasure of knowing me and living with me. We've lived together. I don't have TVs in my room. I am like dry eye when I'm not lights, camera, action. Am I lying?
No.
I'm
like, girl, wake up. It is 10 o'clock. It is not, somebody's late. It is early.
It's like it's 9 o'clock in CST and it's 6 o'clock in California. Like, it's 10 o'clock. My body feels like it's 10 o'clock. So there is ambiversion, extrovert, introvert, ambivert. Have you heard of that term, Jamie, ambivert?
Yeah, I have. It's interesting that you bring that up.
Do you believe it? Do you believe that third one actually exists?
Yeah, because I think there's a balance. I think one person can't be all, one. I don't think I think there could be a mix. And then just kind of depending on where you are, what you're doing or who, it's just during it. I know with me, sometimes I'm kind of like close off or an introvert when there's a lot of people, but if it's just like, 2 or 3, it's different. So yeah, definitely.
And then I find myself judging people who are extremely like active. I'm like, they're on drugs. Ask her which ones so we can get some. No, I can't. I'm joking, but I get drained by people who have really high levels of energy a lot. And so when I started, unveiling myself and pulling back and working with professionals and saying, well, why is it that, when it's time to be Tori Rose, the motivational speaker, I got this energy and I got this and that. But as soon as I'm off the stage, I'm exhausted. Like, what does that mean? And I wanted to make sure that I was presenting as my authentic self, right? And I really this person that I present myself to be to others. And that's where the professional I was talking to at the time said, oh, you're probably like an ambivert. Those are people who can turn it on when they need to turn it on. It is your genuine self. But how you restore and how you are refilled is by your solitude and your quiet time. Crystal R says faith, family, friends. I should have did that one. I should have done like a / diet. So I could have been in the trip and fun. Yes, fun. Jamie, I know we're coming down to the time, but tell us something fun that you and your family or you individually, tell us something fun you like to do.
I really like to just hang out with people that, know me before I became a mom, before I became a wife. So I often go to Pittsburgh. I actually was just there this weekend and just kind of just hang out with people that love me, and it doesn't even really matter where, but I just know that's where they are. So I go to them. Or sometimes when they come, visit me, it's it's just a warm feeling. And I think it's because, majority of my family lives in Pittsburgh. So, it's just kind of being around those people.
You're a Steelers fan.
I am.
You got 1 more minute left on the show. No, I'm just playing. My sister's birthday today is a Steelers fan too. I didn't even want to tag her on Instagram in the story. Like, it's like every time I go to tag, I'll be like, people are gonna think I like the Steelers because her thing is Steelers girl. I hate even like tagging her name, but go ahead.
That's with my purple lipstick on. Right. So, Shauna, what about you? What do you do for fun? What's fun to you?
I vacate. Which was one of the questions I was going to ask you guys, like, fun, like what is your favorite like family vacation or favorite vacation? But right now, like in COVID, like if we can't travel, we're on restriction, but that is something that I love to do. I literally work to travel, so it's like if I do this 2 months straight, I'm gonna take a trip. Then I'm gonna come back and I'll work 3 months, and I'm gonna take a trip. Like literally, that's how my normal work. But really, honestly, now I like just dance party. I literally like dance by myself. So like I love music, and I don't know if I'm extrovert. I guess I am. People think I am, but I was not always as social. So I think I'm ambivert, but I may not be. But I do like to go out. Like I can go out to like a club or things like that, but I got to be like in the corner by myself because I really don't want anybody else dancing with me. I just want to have my moment in the music by myself. So I really have been doing that at home. So I turn YouTube on the television and and turn it up. And I just really been here dancing. Like I'm not here by myself, but I am dancing by myself.
The reason I'm laughing so hard is because you didn't know that, but I have been doing that too. That's why I've literally been having mini concerts. And you remember when I called you the other day and I said, oh yeah, we're going to get our bodies right because we're all dancing. Right. That's why. It's great how in sync you and I can be at times. Girl, get out of my closet and stop sneaking and spying on me. That's mine as well. I've been having mini concerts because I don't go to the gym and I'm not getting out the house much. And I try to order one of those, the shake weight.
Yeah.
I'm getting close to the 40. I just had a birthday and I couldn't find it. I was like, well, dang. So what am I going to do? So I'm in the mirror doing my, whatever. And I'm having a mini concert. That's fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love music. Like, it's just, honestly, you can put on like different types and different things to help calm you. Like whatever mood you're in, there's a song, or a genre of music that can help you to get through it. Like I'm trying to tell you, some India.Arie and Mary J albums have gotten me through some really tough times in life.
Yep, not Keisha Cole though, because you'll go to jail. Trust me.
Right.
You'll be like, I should have cheated. What? So Jamie, before we close out the session, tell us anything else you want us to know about your upcoming projects, about the magazine, or about you.
Well, so next week, our magazine will be up, our digital will be up, and our pre-orders will start. So you can go to the website, helpfullivingmag.com. If you go there, you'll find all our social media content too, as far as, how to follow us. And then if there's anyone that wants to reach out, that wants to be in a magazine or have an idea, we're always open. You can go to info@helpfullivingmag.com. But if you go to the website, you'll see that as well. And just read it and enjoy it. And, it's not just for people who are dealing with mental health or going through a mental health journey, but just those who want to support others too. This is a magazine that is for the household. So, everyone can read it and get something out of it.
Awesome. Are you on Clubhouse?
I am, under Jamie Rockymore. Yep.
Awesome. We have to find you. We're going to eventually, by the time we do it, it'll be more like a club mansion, I guess. But we're eventually going to get with the swing of things. We are on it. We're not hosting anything just quite yet on Clubhouse, but we will find you on Clubhouse. We wish you the best of luck and success. And we just trust God has great, 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 great things in store, as he has already shown up in your world so much, but we know he is going to give you the fruits of your harvest. Kiana, am I missing anything? Is there anything else we need to add? I can't hear you, Key. Did I hit mute? Did you hit mute?
I said you need to tell us where we can find you.
Thank you. You can find me on Instagram at Tori Rose the Connector. I take pride in connecting people and resources and businesses, not just in Baltimore anymore, but up and down the East Coast. So I'm excited about that. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm working on that with the Tori Rose. I think it might be even Tori Rose the Connector, but anything positive you see that's Tori Rose, that's me. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. If it's a negative and it's Tori Rose, it ain't me. It's a hack. How can you find you, Kiana?
You can find me on all social media at Kiana B. Jones. And you can find us also on the Connected Corner on YouTube. So if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're not watching on YouTube, go over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the notification, push it, you'll get notifications whenever we are going live.
Yes. And again, we want to shout out our amazing partners, WMEG Radio. We want to say thank you to Radio on Fire. We want to also say thank you to Nick of Time Media. And guys, stay connected. Like, we got some good things coming. We are also going to be having a women's kind of check-in. It's like for Pulse. This is going to drive me crazy. It's a pulse check for women. It came out of our show last week. Our amazing guest show that we have this event. Jamie, you'll be invited. Please, again, come and talk about the magazine and share. And this is really just going to be a 2-hour virtual safe place for women to get the tools and resources to not only be successful in business, but holistically in their lives. And we'll be also talking about some emergency preparedness things. So how to stay well, safe, how to keep your body together. Why should you be using vitamin D and zinc? All of these different things. So we'll give you guys more information about that. It'll be in March during Women's History Month.
If you guys, I just realized I'm bouncing.
Come on, Jamie, bounce with us. Thank you.
Bounce with it. So we're going to bounce on out of here. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching us tonight, supporting the Connected Corner. If you want to be a guest, email us at bcg.manage@gmail.com. It's in the comments. And if you're watching on the replay, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See y'all next Tuesday.